Christy's going to come on in just a second here. Before that, let's talk about the announcements. And by the way, we're going to go into some deep, awesome topics: transformation, inspiration, determination. Christy is a host of her own show and just absolute powerhouse, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's talk about the sponsorship message, and that's really from us, becoming your greatest possible self. If you're an influencer, a world changer, someone who wants to transform people yourself, let's talk. I would love to see how I can support you, whether that's connecting you with one of these awesome human beings and guests on the show like Christy, who's about to come on, or if you want to get your message out by being a guest on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, or if you're ready to unleash your own impact and start your own podcast. I love helping people start their podcast in 90 days and make a massive impact and build themselves and their business out of doing that. So contact me if that's any of those are of interest for you. Would love to support you in doing that. Next up is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by Yelena R. Yelena says, Chris, a fireball of energy. Chris brings insightful questions with a deep understanding of what us listeners need to hear, even when we don't know it yet. Energetic and authentic, he's on a mission to help his audience become their greatest possible selves, and it shows. Thank you, Yelena. I appreciate you. And if you want to give us a review, let us know how we're doing on the show. Go to beyourgps.com/iTunes or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes store, and you'll find our podcast there. And like I said, let us know what you love, what you want to see more of, and definitely subscribe while you're there so you can get all the latest updates. We release a new episode just about every day, so you're always getting inspired and all kinds of great content to keep you moving forward into your GPS. Thanks so much in advance for doing that. I appreciate you. 100 12-hour marathons would not be possible without you listening. So thanks so much for being here and tuning in. I'm going to introduce Christy in just a moment here. Before that, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, be ready to take notes, be ready for transformation in yourself, because simply being a witness to it, hearing something shift in your mind that you didn't experience before, you didn't have those pieces put together, you didn't quite have the words for that, for what you believe, for what you see, for what you want to create. It can really happen in an instant, and I know Christy and I are going to have a great conversation, so make sure you stay tuned all the way through till the end, and you'll get all the gold. So I'm going to introduce her, and then we will bring her live on the screen. Miss Christy Warnick is a true believer in miracles, that anything is possible. She brings that energy and intention with her into each session, along with what is for the highest and best good by connecting with the highest source and other divine beings. It is her purpose to be a healer and teacher, along with many other amazing things. That is why energy healing, alchemy, manifesting, and being connected to the divine really resonates with her. She helps with more than just healing. There's a much bigger picture when it comes to healing and transformation. And there are many different levels and parts to each of us. She loves helping with all aspects of the entire being. She's here to change lives, and she can help you transform your life for the better. The possibilities are endless, and so much can change in an instant. And I'm super grateful. We're absolutely blessed to have Christy here. Christy, are you ready to rock the house, Superwoman?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. We are now live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Christy, thanks so much for being here and for just being the light and healer and just bringing so much joy and love and empowerment to the world. And we're going to have an amazing conversation today, so thanks for sharing your wisdom and your experience with our audience. Let's dive right into the theme of the day, which is 100, the number 100. What does 100 mean to you, Christy?
Oh, wow. 100. That's like fulfillment.
Yeah.
That is even completion to a certain degree, right? Because we think of 100% or we think of 100 out of 100. I mean, usually when you score something, it's like, especially if you're checking like a light score or something like that I do on occasion, I'll do 0 to 100. So it's like that highest and best kind of like that
That's
area.
Awesome. I love it. That's so cool. So, Christy, thanks for sharing that. And for anyone who's just getting connected with you, why don't you share a little bit more about who you are, what you stand for, and what your clients come to you for?
Yes, I love working with people to not only individual sessions, because I really am passionate about what I do, but I share it in my videos as well. But you asked me the other day when we talked. It was about, where do you see this kind of going for you? And that is something that has changed for me over the past year. I see myself, which I never would have done before, by the way, like talking in front of crowds and things like that. But I never would have seen myself doing that ever.
Just expanding.
I didn't see myself doing videos either. So it's like, that's where it's heading at the next level. But I love the one-on-one sessions with people, because I do love helping to transform their lives for the better, because I bring in a different perspective, but also in that moment, instant change does happen for people, or transformation. Change is transformation. Healing is transformation. All of these things can mean the same thing. And I love helping people and when they realize that too, that they notice that change in that moment, and it's like, oh wow, and
aha moment.
Yes, or something shifted for them, whether it be something going on with their health, and it can shift in an instant. Some people, it just takes a little bit longer. I'm not sure, that's not up to me. It's like, I have the best intentions in the sessions, and I have had amazing things do happen so instantly these days, more so than like years ago when I first started all of this. It's changed, but to help people in any area of their life, because everything is energy.
Yep.
Everything is energy. And ultimately, the energy has a frequency, but which you have the vibration from there. So these things attract things. But when you have that focused intention, I was talking about this on my show yesterday, focused intention with that divine connection, for me, there's like magic that happens in that moment. And it's like that divine comes in as intervention or connection, whatever it is, but amazing things happen.
Wow. That's incredible. I love it. And I think that's so powerful. A lot of, in my opinion, what the world is missing today is like a relentless focus on what they want, not what they don't want, not the complaints, not the victim, not the crap, but what you do want, the vision, the best life ever, the greatest possible self. Like when you are intending that every single day and realigning yourself with that and giving 100% to that, that's everything. That's when that transformation occurs, in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. And people that don't know what they want, because some people don't, they're like, I don't know. Start with healthy and happy. How awesome is that? And so it's like, start somewhere. Yep. What is it that you don't want? Okay, so how can you turn that around?
Yep.
To see, okay, so if you didn't have that, what would you have? Just start with something even simple. It's okay to not know. Yeah. It's okay to be okay with the unknown. And I've gotten very comfortable with the unknown.
Yeah.
Because so much, I saw a little pie chart the other day that someone did, and it's like this tiny little percent of what we know and what we think we know, and then all this whole thing of what we don't know. Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And I hear not being attached to having the answers, so to speak, but just being in play, being in wonder, being curious about like, what is it? What is my next greatest possible self? The next step. What is, I think that a lot of people don't have the clarity on what they want, on who they're supposed to be, on their purpose. And, we were talking to Leah earlier, and she was talking about, having that purpose. How do you really create that purpose? So that's super important. We have tons of people on here who can help you find your purpose. Christy, I know you can empower people with that as well. But I think it's so important just to say, you know what, I'm on the journey of discovering my purpose, and just being here and now. Like I'm in pursuit. And that is good enough. I can celebrate. I can go wild, go crazy, dance, have a party simply because I say I'm committed to finding out what my purpose is. I'm committed to creating the clarity on who I am and why I'm here in this lifetime. And I think a lot of people underestimate that simply saying I'm on the journey and I'm taking steps and I get to pursue this on a daily basis. That's something to celebrate in itself, because even if you don't know, you know that you don't know, and you can celebrate that.
Exactly. So what if, I love playing the what if game.
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
So what if you were already living your purpose? What if everything you did was your purpose? You're doing things on purpose in anything and everything that you do. But when people ask that, a lot of people get confused with purpose and mission and like their soul's purpose, soul's mission. You can just have a little, and that's what I can do. I can tune in and give people like a key word, like mind, what used to be, I think it started out as love, and then it went to joy, and now it's like love, joy, and inspiration. So I've kind of added on to that, or it's been added on. But I can give people in sessions a key word for them. It's like either a doing or a being something. Yeah. And as long as you're doing something that involves that in some way, shape, or form, you're doing it. You're doing it. You're here and you're doing it. Yeah. But with everything we do, there is purpose. Whether you're brushing your teeth, you're doing something, and there's a purpose. Wow. Okay, I go and walk my dog. There's a purpose with that. Everything we do, there's a purpose. And so when you actually acknowledge these things that you're already doing, it lets go of some of that pressure of what you're not doing or what you're searching for. Wow. What if it's already there? And it is for a lot of people. And so when we let go of this, we actually become more on purpose because there's purpose in everything we're doing. So we're not seeking for something that's already there.
Wow, that's incredible. That's such a powerful energy of not it's out there, but it's already here inside, and I already have it. I'm already abundant. There's more than enough versus scarcity and lack, and I think that's super powerful, Christy. And if y'all didn't write that down, like that is you better be writing this down because that was so powerful. What if you are already living your purpose? For anyone who's searching for that, recognize that you can shift your mindset, you can shift your perspective to really own that you could already be living it. And I would invite you to say, I am already living my purpose. Like, Christy, it's a perspective shift, not to say, well, okay, now what do I have to do to live my purpose? It's just like, no, I am, like, here and now I am living my purpose. So how do I see life differently? How can I celebrate and acknowledge myself for doing that? And I think that's really powerful.
And what happens with that is you attract things that are more in alignment for you because you're saying, if you're reading a book, instead of going, oh my goodness, there's so many things, other things I could be doing, and there's the dishes and there's this and that and the other. What if you just really gave yourself credit for the things that you do and appreciated that? Like I say, even if it's washing the dishes or reading a book, or washing clothes or whatever it is, doing anything that you're doing at your job, giving yourself credit for what you are doing, but at the same time, have goals. It's obviously amazing to have goals, and then you can work towards us. So if you put those goals out there, then you will be brought opportunities that are more in alignment by you just saying, okay, I'm doing this and I'm doing my best and I'm on purpose and I'm working towards that instead of, like I said, seeking something that's already there, but giving yourself credit for what you are doing instead of some people kind of judge themselves or beat themselves up for doing things that are, for saying that they're not doing certain other things, but it's okay because the only person that's judging you in the end is yourself. That's right. The divine does not judge you. They're just sitting back going, okay, how can we help you? And what are you giving us to work with here? Wow. So what are you giving them to work with?
Yeah. And it's I think it's interesting because other people can judge us and we can take on their judgments and opinions as our own. But that's not healthy. That's not empowering. It's always to return back to our source. Yeah. Giving away our power. Wow. That's powerful. So, Christy, I want to go back into your journey because you are a powerful, wise human being, and of course, there's a lot of things that you do know, and we know even more things that we have no idea about. So, we're always in our pursuit of growth, and I'd say you're really hungry for growth. You're showing up, you're educating others, and you have your show, and you're doing awesome things, taking people through transformation. How did you get to this point? What was your journey like to be able to get here where we are today?
Yeah. And so there's another little piece that I'll add to the end there when I'm done with this, because it'll lead up to kind of where I'm being guided to now. But I started out years ago. I worked for 16, 17 years for an accounting office.
Wow.
And doing payrolls and things like that. And it just kept building and building and building until I was just like, this is not what I'm meant to be doing. But I made the most of it while I was there, you know. And so after that, like I said, I just had this, it became just very stressful. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, and so my husband has a business, so I work from home, and I was doing bookkeeping from home part-time, and my son was young. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, get him through school and help him out, pick him up from school, help him with homework, but also do some work from home. And working with him, he had some allergy stuff when he was younger, when he was a baby, even from when he was born. And so I was in search of something to help him. And so I went in search of alternative medicines and things like that, because the doctors, they were like, you know, he was just a baby. They're like, oh, he's just got a cold. It's just cold symptoms. And I'm like, this has been going on for months. It's not just a cold, you know. And so it was allergy stuff, but I was like, okay. So I went in search of alternative medicine, and we worked with chiropractors and things like that. And it did improve, yes. But in the search so much for him and to help him, I started getting a lot of symptoms and things. Wow. And so it's like I was focused so much on it, and it was like it turned into something to heal for myself so that I could help him. And I was like, whoa, okay. And so then it just kind of snowballed, and there was all this stuff that came up with health related things. But I was like, okay, now what do I do? The doctors didn't know what to do. They had no idea what was going on. And then the chiropractor didn't know what to do, had no idea what was going on. And so I was like, so what do I do? I mean, I came so close several times to not being here because of what I went through. I mean, it was just so much at one time that just hit me. And so I was like, okay, I went in search of energy healers, and I worked with many of them, so many of them. And I'm so grateful that I did, because I learned so much.
Yeah.
And at the time, it didn't feel like it was helping me that much. But when I started taking classes and courses and doing programs and really getting into it more, because it started with, I was receiving these energy healing treatments and sessions and things like that. And then I started meditating and working with like Archangel Michael and the divine, but I found that I could do things. I started noticing a change when I started doing some of the things, similar things to what I had learned from the sessions for myself. And I was able to do that for myself. And then I started learning, how can I help others in this way? People that are like me, that are similar situations, because I don't really like people to resonate with my story and what I went through, because everyone is different and they have their own experience. And so after that, I took some programs and got some certifications. And then things changed even more over the past few years, because I learned that, yes, it's awesome that I learned those things, and I'm so grateful. But I learned to take the bits and pieces to create my own, like working with the alchemy and all of that. And also creating my own modality and programs and making things. And now it's going down even more to, they're showing me how to make things as simple as possible, because my thing over the years was, I know there's an easier way.
Yeah.
I know it. And so now I am being shown these things. So I have unlimited myself so much that there's like just this little bit, and so it's like, there's so much that is just not true out there that people have been programmed and it's just conditioned to believe or to do. And there's so many, you've got to do this way in order to get here and to do that. And I don't know. It was just, there was just something in my mind going, well, if you do it this way and get there, but what if this is something totally opposite over here? And so who's right? And come to find out, there's so much of it it's finding your own truth.
Yeah.
Finding your own truth. But the thing that really brought all this together recently was really simplifying things. Yes, we can learn all this stuff, but how much of that is actually true for you and how much of that is limiting you? So I had to let go of a whole lot of stuff.
Can you give us some practical examples of how we can simplify and really identify our own truth and what resonates with us?
Yeah, the first question is to ask yourself, does this need to or have to be true for me? And when I realized that a lot of things did not need to and have to be true for me, when it came to my own reality,
right?
It's totally different than the outside stuff going on. But when you're talking yourself here, and it's asking yourself, does this need to or have to be true for me? And if you get a no, you'll get a yes or a no. And if you're not sure, that's okay. Just kind of put that aside and go, okay, that's okay. It's okay to not know. But if you get a yes or a no, go with that. Okay, listen to that. Really trusting and learning to trust your intuition there. But also, if it seems limiting, it is. You can change it, correct it, adjust it, let it go, whatever works best for you. I always encourage people to do what works best for them, because I'm not going to go around telling people, yes, you have to do this. You need to do this. I love to post inspiring posts and do the videos and things, but in the end, I always encourage people, take from it what resonates with you. That means what feels good to you, what feels right for you, what feels true for you, and go with that.
I love it.
That includes everything that everyone is hearing out there, because there's so many videos, so many books, so much stuff going on that it's like, well, is that really true? A lot of it, no. But a lot of it, if it feels good and it's true for you, absolutely go with it.
Yeah. This is beautiful, Christy. I love it, because it's really empowering people to be like sovereign over themselves and to be their own source and tap into that intuition and internal GPS that we're all born with. We're all equipped with as soon as we come to this time and place, as soon as we're born and come to Earth. So I really, really love that. And if anyone has any questions listening right now live or replay, definitely ask them so that we can support you in that. If you're stuck with any kind of challenges or things that you've been dealing with, we're happy to support you however we can. And Christy has like some awesome guidance and intuitively guided processes. And I think that's important for people to have a process or an exercise or a behavior that they can engage in so that they can discover their answers. I think a lot of people just don't have that go-to, oh, I'm struggling, I feel overwhelmed, I feel exhausted, what do I do next? And I think people have a lot of unhealthy habits to go to, like numbing and avoiding and eating and all these kinds of things. And it's like, if we only had more healthier processes, we could live a better life.
Yeah, because, and also what is healthy for one person is not so healthy for other people. But it really goes back to the more you unlimit yourself, the more opportunities, the more possibilities you have, the more choices you have, because you've taken, this space and you've just kind of opened up so much for yourself. And everyone has that power within them, though. And that's what we're here doing, is really empowering people. And for me, the determination, that's where in the title, inspiration and determination, that determination, I feel like now, and it's because I realized this for myself, not that it was in any way blocking me before, but I feel now that determination, I am being rewarded for that determination. I don't know that I felt that before, but now I'm realizing that because I'm doing my best to inspire others, but also to be inspired, because they inspire me too. Right. When they comment and they send me messages, these awesome things and changes and ways that they're changing their lives, and any part of that I helped with, I mean, how awesome is that? Wow. And But determination got me to where I am now because I kept telling myself, I know there's a better way. And that to me was my determination. And now I'm being shown that better way or that easier way, whatever it is. That determination got me and is the reason why I'm alive today. And so it can transform your life. So give yourself credit for having that determination. That's your motivation too.
Yeah, this is gold. I love that you say this, and I think a lot of people who are building a company, entrepreneurs, they're building an online brand, it can be really easy to judge and compare ourselves compared to other people, to minimalize our success, to minimalize the activity, the engagement, the comments, the messages. Even me, like I have been focusing on the stress of having so many messages and so many conversations to deal with in like Facebook Messenger and texting and calling and all this stuff. And it's like, if only I shifted that, what would it be like? What would it be like if I celebrated and I was inspired by how much activity and transformation, so to speak, I generate in the world, and empowering people to step into their purpose, into their message. And I love also the determination aspect, because like celebrating and acknowledging how determined I am. I mean, freaking 112-hour marathons. Let's go, Chris. Like, awesome job. Keep it up.
Yes, absolutely. Celebrate that. And yeah, it is a lot when you receive a lot of messages and things like that. But what are the majority of those messages? Majority of them are some kind of, they're mostly positive, right?
Yeah.
I get like one every once in a while that's one that has something that absolutely has nothing to do with me, obviously, is something that they're going through. But 99.9% of them are awesome and amazing things that people share with me. And that's, if you put your focus on that and those comments and those messages, and let those inspire you. And the others, just, if you're putting out there, if you have the highest and best intentions, because your intention is so powerful, but when you have that highest and best intention out there, then whatever you receive back from that, that's not you. Because if you had the best intention going in, anything else is something that they're going through, and you can just say, okay, that's where they're at, and send them prayers or bless them or whatever it is, just send them some love and light or whatever you want to send them, but just send them on their way and let them go through their own process and focus on, and really, like I said, let the positive ones inspire you, because that's the majority.
And it's like feeding, so to speak, the right sources of energy. If you feed that source of disempowerment or stress or overwhelm, or the haters, or the fear, the shame, whatever is coming up that would attract those people, I see it as an opportunity to continue to work on myself and to heal those areas and those aspects if I'm attracting those people. That's been my perspective. What's your perspective? Do you just ignore it? Do you celebrate it? What do you pay attention to, and how do you go through that?
Yeah, what I do first of all is set an intention for anything that I do. First of all is that I'm going to attract the people that are going to be inspired or empowered by what I'm sharing or whatever it is. If there's something else that comes in, it's usually because it's something for me to just say, okay, no, I'm going to let that go. Or, like I said, honor that where they're at, and just say that has nothing to do with me. Wow. Because if I'm in full integrity in what I'm doing, then it absolutely has nothing to do with me. And when you look at the majority of what you're attracting, and if that's positive or inspirational, whatever it is, then yes, absolutely. That's what you're being sent to inspire you, to keep you going, but also to, like I said, to let go of any kind of judgment or whatever. It's like not taking things personally, because it's not about you always. If you're putting something out there that's controversial, that's I don't know, if you're throwing out there a bunch of stuff and you're not in full integrity when you're doing it, then that can come back to you. But if you're in integrity when you're doing it, you're doing the right thing for the right reasons and all of that, then you're going to attract the more positive, inspirational things. And that's the response that you're going to get from what you're putting out there.
This is good, and it's being intentional. Circles back to being intentional
Your
about
intention
what's the
is
energy that you're
very
putting out. What are you paying attention to? What are your thoughts? What are your emotions going towards? Where are you investing your presence and your life force?
Yeah, because I have awesome, a lot of some of them are here with us now, but I have awesome viewers that
Mm,
join in, and they are always so supportive, and I love that. But I've created that space.
mm,
Any others that come in and it's because they've been shared out, not necessarily that they found me on my page, but it's because it gets shared out into these other communities, and that's totally fine because I can just delete that and block that person or whatever. That doesn't belong in my space.
yeah, yeah, that's gold. I
So
love
I
it.
have that power over my space.
That's good. That's good. It's
Yeah.
it's being empowered by your ability to say what stays and what goes, rather than oh my gosh, that stuff came into my space, and being like,
But, okay, there you go. Let you go there. And it's all about having a choice. Like just like if
yeah,
you're in a situation, let's say in a I don't know, I'm picturing like a store, and let's say there's a confrontation going on. You have the power to walk away.
mm,
We always have a
yeah,
choice
yeah,
in some way, shape, or form, especially when we're to a certain point to where we can be in that space. But
mm,
it's definitely empowering yourself, but being empowered and knowing that you do have a choice. Everyone
mm,
has a choice. And some people feel like they don't. And that's okay too, because you
mm,
can work through that. But the more you keep being inspired and empowered, empowering yourself and connecting with, or, whatever works for you. I always
yeah,
inspire people and just encourage them to go what works best for you, because
yeah,
everyone's situation is different. You don't know what everyone else is going through.
yeah,
And so I honor where they're at, but they know that they can, where to reach me. They know how to find me if they would like help with that. But obviously there's some help that's beyond, or that I usually will refer some other people to. But most people that find me though,
mm,
it's funny because they will say that they had asked for something and all of a
mm,
sudden they saw one of my videos or they saw a post, or one person's like, you showed up on my Instagram and I have no idea where this came from, but they scheduled a session. And
wow,
so people find me, and that's how this divine guidance all stuff works, is
mm.
because when you put something out there, you're going to be guided to someone that's going to help you with that.
Wow, this is beautiful, and I want to like kind of go meta about, and that's like higher level for those who don't know what meta means. Like higher level, why things are the way that they are. And Christy, one thing I love about what you just said is you have a story and a creation, a speaking into existence of how people find you. And it's like the most random things, like I don't know how they found me, but they just like it happens. And I really love that because you are not attached to how the universe puts you and your message and your energy in front of other people and puts other people into your path so that you can heal them and help them. And I know me personally, I'm sure a lot of people out there have wanted to know and be like in control of how do people find me. And there's a story about that. There's a mindset of how do people find me? Well, I have to go out and I have to market. I have to put posts on Facebook. I have to, do these things. And it's like the have to and the need to that you told us to be like aware of earlier. Is that really true for me? And I love your story. And I invite everyone who's listening or watching right now, if you're committed to creating more abundance, more clients, etc., say, I don't know how it all comes to me, but it finds me. The money shows up in my bank account. The people say, I want to work with you. I don't know where they come from, but they say, I found your content. I don't even know how. I don't remember where it came from, but I just aligned with it. I resonated with it, and it lit me up, and I just knew I had to work with you. And so it's like that is so powerful. I love it.
Yeah, because it's about when we have these intentions, and like I said, everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything has a frequency. Those frequencies and everything has a vibration. So that goes out, and then it's that they call it the law of attraction. But it's also, there's a resonance there. There is coherence. There's that, you've got that they call it the law. They call these things laws, but there's really very few universal laws, and all these others are just made up to so that people resonate with
It's like
them.
a label.
Yeah, but it's okay because that's how people refer to things.
Yep.
But some of them are beneficial, and some of them we can just let go of.
Yeah.
If you don't resonate with something, it doesn't mean you have to react to it or even respond to it, really.
Yeah.
You can just let it go because you just have it's just like, it just is. Wow. But if you resonate with something, that means you're getting like a yes, and you're like, okay. And that's just the way, and we can prioritize these things too. Yep. If you make a list and you have these things, you can ask for these things. And I work with this energetically with people as well, is with that resonance that can be adjusted, that can be, I call it reorganized. So you can prioritize the things that you do truly want, and those you can resonate with those more so than other things. But the other things can be more of a neutral state. Like, so you can attract more of what you resonate with. Those are whatever you're truly wanting and choosing. Like I said, it's power of choice, but there's intention there. There's so much involved in all of this, but I really love to keep it simple because I can explain it in a way that people are like, oh, that's just a lot. Or you can just keep it simple. Ask yourself, is this something that I need to or have to? Is this a need to or have to? And really start with that because, people go into their soul's mission and soul's purpose, and they get really complicated with the whole mind, body, soul thing because there's so much that, let's face it, we're just never going to know it all, right? Because there's so much. But when you're working with that divine source, whatever that is for you, God, source, creator, the universe, I call them just the highest source, sometimes just as a universal thing. And there can be that divine source, that highest source can override anything at any point in time. Because that divine source, that highest source, is unlimited. The universe is unlimited. And when you combine that with anything is possible, and that doesn't, people kind of are like, yeah, but is this possible? And they don't understand that anything, it means everything.
Yes.
Not just, okay, these few things, but it's really going with what works for you. What's best for you? Because people, like I said, I do my best to not overcomplicate things. So I've done my best to really simplify things, make it easy. And the easiest thing is that everything is energy. There's different kinds of energies, but everything is energy. And there's, like I said, frequency, and it puts out a vibration. And pretty much from there, anything goes, Yeah. And so, but what are you putting out there? And people that come to me, they'll schedule a session, and many of them will notice a shift before they even have the session, because once they schedule that session, they've put out there their intention to receive help in that area that they describe or whatever when they schedule. And things start to happen. They start to shift when they start, and I'll read that, and it's like things start working automatically with that. And like I said, the sessions are amazing. I mean, they're becoming much faster. Eventually, I'll probably do away with my 1-hour sessions altogether and really narrow it down, because things are being done so quickly, so easily these days. And I love that it's getting that way, but not only for me, but it's when the more I unlimit myself and other people are unlimiting themselves, it's shifting so much for everyone else. They call it kind of like the ripple effect or whatever. Yeah. And it's holding that space, just creating that space for someone else to come in, and it being even easier and even faster. And so it just keeps going that way. And that's the reason why things are so much easier and faster these days than what they used to be. But it's all in how are you simplifying it for yourself too.
I love this. This is so freaking powerful, Christy. Is like I'm just lit up hearing you speak, and it's just like it's really profound. It's really simple, and it's profound, and it like feels like it's just hitting me, all my cells saying yes, 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 like you're talking about, like what brings that yes energy response out in you. And I really love that I'm feeling that, and I know that there's people in the audience who are feeling
and
it
when
too.
people comment yes, it really locks that in for them too, because they're putting out there yes, they're agreeing to it, yes, they're choosing this. And also, just to clarify real quickly, easy, when I say easy or simple, it doesn't mean boring. It doesn't mean that this or that or the other. It can mean easy and fun, easy and exciting. You can add to that. It doesn't mean that it's just blah because it's easy. To me, easy is fun. I make it fun and exciting. I think it's awesome. But for some people, they want to go in and they love the other parts. They love the research. They love to really dig in and find this and that and the other. And that's totally okay, because we're all different. Do what works best for you. Everyone, I encourage them to be their own self. But for me, easy is fun and exciting. And I mean, it's just, I think it's awesome. So
I think we get to bottle up your paradigm of how you see reality, and like give it to people and install it in people's minds, because this is so awesome.
And it can unlock something, and that's the reason why these videos are so amazing to do, is because it could take just a word, because our words carry that frequency, that vibration. And when I create a sacred space around all of my videos, and so it really leaves that open for them to, if they're, if they've asked for something, or if they're wanting something, it can come in very easily, even just by watching a video, even on the replay, because it's like, I'm just saying, okay, that they'll receive whatever's highest and best for them. If it's a message, if it's just valuable information, if it's just a word, whatever it is, if they're watching this, then there's a reason.
I love it. I want to dive into more of unlimiting ourselves. So I've heard you mention that multiple times. Tell us a little bit more about that and how we can activate that unlimitedness in our own life even more.
Yes, I did mine a lot at one time, and so you got to be prepared for that. And so I did my STAR program, but I kind of customized it for myself, and it really did unlimit me in a lot of ways. But it was also just that I received that, it was just this knowing that things could be easier and could be more simple and faster, and that there was a better way, and all these things. And so I was like, so where does that leave me? And so it really goes back to, you hear people talking about they want to get rid of their limiting beliefs. Well, do you know what happens when you do that?
What?
You become, your thoughts, your beliefs, all these things become more powerful, and you can manifest very quickly. But you got to be in the right mindset to get there. Like I chose to become more optimistic so that I could attract the things that I do want more easily, instead of things that I don't want. So, when you ask for something like that, there's a reason why it's not just like, okay, they're all gone now. Do you know what to do with what you have when you're almost 100% of your mind is beneficial and serving you and all that? Yeah. So it's people you got to be prepared. I mean, it's just part of, and that's the reason why people go through things at different rates for them. It's like, what are you preparing yourself for? What are you prepared for? Wow. And when you start putting out there more of what you do want, when you start checking in with yourself on those have tos and need to things, and it really, you just start seeing the bigger picture. But it even though it's a bigger picture, it's really, like I said, the simple and easy too, because if you start adding on a bunch of stuff, then you could just run in circles all day long. I mean, because you're just like, okay, so this is this and this and this, and then you're just like, whoa, no, let me just make this simple, because otherwise you would drive yourself crazy.
And what really works for you to keep things simple, and like totally simple, concise, clear? How do you effectively do that?
simple intentions.
Hmm.
I am this, or I choose this. If you're not ready to say I am this and believe it, then start with I choose, because I choose can be very powerful.
Yeah.
And so you're saying, okay, I'm adding this to my shopping cart. You know, your online shopping, you're adding it to your shopping cart. When you hit send and it's going to, or place order, and then it's being shipped to you. Okay. So, but what are you doing in between that too? So, you know, so it's really allowing that clear path. You know, you don't want to create a snowstorm so that it's not delivered or something like that.
Right.
So it's really knowing that you are a powerful creator. And when you do that and you start unlimiting yourself more and more, you're just more open-minded, but there's also a peace that comes with it too. When you start creating and really realizing that, oh, wow, being more optimistic really can be easy. But it is a transition, because I went through it. I know I was in this state of, I don't know if I want to live through the day. You know, there was like that time when that was there. And then it got better. And then things started getting more clear. And even some days I'm not sure about things, but then I'm like, when it comes to, okay, is this, you know, because there's a lot of, okay, this, the need to, the have tos and all that stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just going to make it simple. And then I do my best to quiet my mind. So I bring in just peace. So I'll bring in peace and harmony just through my body, through my mind. And really just the more peaceful you can be with your mind. Another little trick for people that consider themselves like overthinkers, or just really, you know, thinking a lot. Humming actually can quiet the mind. So if you hum, you'll notice that, oh, where did my thoughts go? You know, it's just like it can kind of quiet the mind. Or you can just say stop, you know, to quiet the mind. The more you work with that and are able to go from this place of, it's okay to think about what you're thinking about too, because some of that, like I said, you can just kind of let it go, or figure out what works best for you, working with like an energy healer, or working with meditations, affirmations, whatever it is. Find what works best for you, whatever's going to get you to help you to kind of calm your mind. And I know people are like, I just can't do that. And I get that. I thought I couldn't either. But guess what? You can do anything.
It can be easy.
It can be done. It is possible. And the biggest thing that I realized, and it was funny because my guest on my show yesterday asked me this, and I totally blanked out. I was just like, oh my gosh. The biggest thing that I realized that was just not true, that so many people are conditioned and programmed to believe that it is that we can be free of pain, struggling, suffering, those kinds of things. You can be, and that is not a truth that you have to go through those things in order to learn, to grow, to evolve, to ascend. Any of that is just not true. No. But take from it your truth. I'm just telling you what, and I don't put my stuff off on anyone else. I'm just giving you another possibility. I put out there possibilities because I've been shown that that's not true, that we need to or have to go through those things. Wow. That there are, what if we could learn and grow and evolve and ascend through joy, through love, through happiness, through even neutrality, or better would be better than struggling or suffering, right? So it's like even just setting that line there and saying, okay, this or something better. Because even if you're in that neutrality, there's just that, okay, it's okay either way. It's just in that okay state. But you really, for me, I choose to be better than just okay. Yes. You know, and so it's really building upon it from there. Evening that playing field and then saying, okay, this is what I'm choosing. So, and it can, and energy work or playing with that, it really does help. So whatever people do with that, whether it's, like I said, meditation or working with an energy healer or something like that, be sure to set your intentions before you go in. And also, if you have someone saying, okay, you have to do this in order to get here, that's kind of a red flag, and because you want someone that's going to encourage you to make it your own.
Yeah.
And encourage you to find your own way. Yes, it's good to follow these programs and things like that, but once you're done, then take from it what was best for you and then roll with it from there.
I love this. Christy, this is incredible. I'm so grateful for this conversation, and anyone who's tuning in or watching live, replay, whatever it might be, this is super beneficial. And I'm thinking in my head, I just want to keep re-listening to this episode over and over again because of what you are what you're saying is reminding me what I know deep down inside is true. 99% of what you're sharing is true for me too. And I'm just like, yes, this is so incredible. So I really appreciate this conversation. I know a lot of people are valuing it as well who are tuning in. So I want to shift into the show that you're doing. You really empower a lot of people. What inspired you to start the show, and where? I know we talked a little bit about it in the beginning, but where do you see it going? Where do you see it evolving from here?
Well, I wanted to, after I went through the whole energy healing thing and I was helping people and learned that I could help people in that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can I get this out there to more people that are maybe going to doctors and things like that, which is awesome. I always encourage people to do that first. But if there's not the answers there, or if it's not, once again, resonating with you or whatever, then absolutely seek something out that is going to work for you. And if it's, seeking out an energy healer or light work or whatever you want to call it, I do my best to stay away from labels, but it's kind of like, well, you got to let people know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But it really is about, like I said, letting them know that these things are out there. There's possibilities, there's choices, there's options available for them, opportunities, and putting that out there. But that was my thing. How can I get that out there? And then I had the Akashic Academy. I had Emily Harrison and Nick Pereira. They both interviewed me about energy healing, and then they asked me to come on their network and have my own show. And so I was like, this is what I asked for. So at first I was totally freaked out because I had not done that before. I'd not done my own show. I'd only been on a couple of interviews where they interviewed me. And so I was like, so then I was like, okay, I can do this. Mm-hmm. And so anyone out there that's not sure, then if it's something you've put out there and this is an answer to that, go for it. Yeah. Go for it. That's what I did. I was just like, okay, I'm just going for it. And so I did. And I've had it for almost a year and a half now. And it's just every week I have shown up and I've had guests on, I've done shows on my own. And it's just something that I was guided to do. And so I'm just going with it. But I know that I still love doing the one-on-one sessions with people. I love that because I become one of their best and biggest cheerleaders, because it's like I'm there for them, to encourage them, to help them. And they receive the energy healing, but also coaching and mentoring along the way too. So I even do just that, but it works both ways. So I can do the coaching and mentoring and bring in the energy work with it, or I can do the energy healing, but they receive something that's going to be beneficial for them to help themselves too. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. I love this. This is so great. So I want to let people know how they can stay connected with you. How can they find the show? What are their next steps to continue on the journey? And then after that, I want to ask you for about 60 seconds of your greatest wisdom to help people become their greatest possible self. So first of all, let's tell people how they can stay connected, and what do we want them to do next?
Yes, real easy. ChristyWarnick.com. I go by my name. That's ChristyWarnick.com. And I have a Facebook page, a business page. And all of that information is on my website. If you go to the homepage there, it gives you my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ChristyWarnick1. But there's my YouTube channel. There's all my other links. There's even free. There's like a list of frequency numbers there for people to play with, and instructions and just kind of suggestions on how to play with those and use those. And there's other free gifts and stuff there that they can sign up for. And it gives you all of everything is there on my website. And also, if you would like the wisdom that I have is, know that so much of what you're seeking, and I know people have heard this before, but I like to give it a little spin on it. Is it, it really truly is within you. All the answers are there. And when people say that, know that that can also mean that you have within you whatever it is to attract that as well. So it can be something that you attract, but ultimately it's within you that attracts those things that you're asking for. So the answers really truly are within you. And that's not that doesn't mean that, oh, I have all the answers. It means that you have the ability to receive the answers that you're seeking, or whatever it is. And that everyone, if they're watching this, if they're choosing to get help, or choosing to change their lives, to transform their lives, to heal, whatever it is, that is a sign, that is a sign that self-love is already there. People go in search of self-love when it's already within them. And you can just start looking at these different things that you're already doing, and seeing it as you're doing it because you love yourself so much. You love yourself that much that you're doing these things. You're here with us and all these different things. You're allowing yourself to be inspired, or whatever it is. It's already within you.
That's so beautiful. And I love that it goes back to acknowledging ourselves for the things that we're doing right, rather than what we're not doing well enough. And I think it's so, so powerful. So Christy, this is gold. You are a freaking just awesome conduit of consciousness, of raising people's vibration, energy, joy, love, gratitude, appreciation, and being mindful, being intentional about our choices and about how we show up in the world. And it's really, really incredible. I'm super grateful for our time together. I'm so looking forward to your show as well. I'm going to be on there. Can we let our audience know when that's going to be as well?
Absolutely. That is next week. So I think that is June the 4th.
Yep.
So on June 4th, Chris will be on my show, The Power of Energy Healing, which is every Tuesday on the Akashic Academy Facebook page. I share it to my pages and all of that. And it's at 12 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific Time.
Yes. We're gonna rock it, Christy. I'm so looking forward to it. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have the best day ever. The best week ever. Keep creating. You're so powerful. Keep it up.
You too. Thank you.
I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.